Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it is a good morning. It is a gorgeous morning. How's everybody today? Ooh, yeah.
One of my neighbors has a giant house cat. Oh yeah, giant house cat.
Oh, yeah. Anywho, so here we are on the balcony and looking at a fairly busy day today. I think we're going out to the boat. We're going to finish bedding the mast step. We're going to bolt that sucker down nice and solid. And yeah. Oh, we might finish the video out there. Don't know yet. We'll figure it out. In any case, yeah. Where does morality come from? Morality is something that happens when you have an intelligent species that lives in groups. It's an evolved characteristic which in humans comes from Africa. Yeah. And it evolved in order to allow humans to survive in a world where, yes, there are hungry lions wandering the savannah out there, and we humans are small, weak, feeble, and all we have going for us is our ability to think and to devise ways of tricking the lions. But every one of those ways requires that there be a group of us, because otherwise the lion is just going to ignore it and just eat. Yeah, so how do you avoid getting eaten by lions when you are living in the Paleolithic in Africa? Well, you live in large groups. How do you live in large groups? Well, you get along with each other. Because if you don't get along with each other, you're not going to be able to live in large groups. And the lions are going to get you. It's that simple, really. Those proto-humans who were able to get along in large groups without attacking each other, without hurting each other, without antagonizing each other, they were the ones who survived because they had the genetic propensity for getting along. And the ones who were natural douchebags, well, the lions got them. The lions ate them because the tribe kicked them out. And so, even those who did not have the genetic propensity for getting along still had the intelligence to figure out that they'd better get along or they're going to get kicked out of the tribe, and then the lions are going to get them. That's how morality works. You get along with others, or you become lion chow. I think that's pretty simple, pretty basic, pretty self-explanatory. And it has nothing to do with the behavior of the sun, the moon, the stars, and other galaxies. Nothing at all whatsoever to do with it. It just has to do with our survival as a species. It has to do with weeding out the douchebags so that only the people capable of getting along survive to breed and pass on their genetic legacy of the genetic propensity for getting along to the next generation, which reinforces the whole thing about getting along. And that is the evolution of morality, human morality. Everything on top of that is simply a refinement of that basic underlying principle of we have to get along, or we won't be able to live together in a group, and the lions will pick us off one by one. It's a simple solution. Just get along with each other. And it brings to mind a Margaret Mead story, the earliest evidence of human civilization, where Margaret Mead pointed out that the earliest evidence of human civilization was a healed human femur. Yeah. For those of you who think that our primitive ancestors were all every man for himself and clubbing each other on the head and taking from each other, this healed human femur should be a wake-up call that no, that's not how primitive people lived. Whoever's femur it was, and the femur is this part of the leg here, right here, that big chunk of bone that goes from the knee to the hip, that femur was broken. That person was helpless for months. Somebody had to clean them. Somebody had to feed them. Somebody had to look out for them. People had to take care of this person. And they did. Our primitive ancestors took care of a person with a broken femur, such that his femur healed and he was able to live for many years afterwards. A healed broken femur. Yeah, this thing right here. This big chunk of bone here. Yeah. Healed. And the person thereafter walked for years. They limped, but they walked for years afterwards. We know this because the scars on the muscle attachments show that this person's walking changed. And then they walked for many years afterwards. And we find this in Neanderthal burials. Neanderthals with serious injuries that required them to be looked after by other members of their tribe, healing and going on to live long lives afterwards. One of the famous Shanidar Neanderthals was blind in one eye, had no depth perception, couldn't hunt, had injuries to their legs, their arms, their shoulders, their head. This person had taken a beating in life. And yet this person, this individual, lived a long time with these debilitating injuries. They couldn't hunt, they couldn't fight, but they were kept alive by their community. And that's Neanderthals, people that we, modern Cro-Magnon, Homo sapiens sapiens, we are told to look down on Neanderthals, but Neanderthals looked after their weak and their injured and their old. They took care of each other. That is morality. And that is also civilization. And the whole notion that it's a dog-eat-dog world, that is the antithesis of morality and the antithesis of civilization. And interestingly, it is the foundational principle of modern Western capitalist democracy. Screw the weak, only the strong will survive. Yeah. That's capitalist democracy, social Darwinism. An idea, incidentally, that Charles Darwin himself utterly abhorred. deeming it to be a perversion of his research. Something else that we should think about, yes. Morality comes from Africa, where primitive early humans understood that they had to get along with each other, or they were going to get picked off by the lions one by one. Yeah. And civilization comprises looking after each other, protecting each other. In other words, exercising practical morality. Does it work? I think it works. What do you think? Is not being eaten by lions worth giving up the right to be a douchebag for? Yeah. Something to think about.
Oh, yeah. So, today is tomorrow, and we did get out to the boat, and I did get a whole lot of work done. And, oh, yeah. So, yeah, life is good. Anyway, everybody take care, be well, stay safe, love yous all. Okay, bye-bye.